Hello again, everyone. It's Archivist David Thomas at the Cornwall Record Office at Truro. Last week we talked about one of the maps that we've been packaging up for our move to the Crescent Kernow site at Redruth. And on the table today we have some more maps and plans that we're about to package up for that move. This is a collection of maps and plans from a former architect at Launceston called Wise and Wise, who were in business at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. We can see the enormous collection of plans in the box that we're about to put into folders ready for the moves. A lot of detailed drawings of buildings, some highly coloured in the Launceston area. I've selected a few of them just to give you a taster of what A will be packing up and B will be listing and cataloguing in more detail when we get to our new premises at Redruth. So let's have a look and see what we've got this afternoon. The first is a really beautiful and highly detailed drawing of the front of the new Bible Christian Chapel at Launceston. Plan number 3, which was constructed towards the end of the 19th century. What's also interesting about this is that the builders who were undertaking the work have signed the plan by the architect to agree that this is the building that they will actually construct according to Wise and Wine's particular plans. Done in the Gothic style, as many Methodist buildings were at the end of the 19th century. A very good and detailed drawing. And then on the more domestic front, we've got the proposed shop front in the High Street at Launceston for Nathaniel Baker, who was one of the local grocers. And you have some really beautiful detail of the curved corners of the doorways and the windows and the architraves and the details of that proposed shop front, which was done, according to the date at the bottom, July the 8th, 1889. So we're looking at towards the end of Queen Victoria's era. And it's rather nicely stamped with Wise and Wise's architect's own in-house stamp. And then here we have a little plan of Bowden Durra, a new cottage which was going to be built for P.D. Wrangham Esquire. And again, very detailed plan showing the front and the rear elevations of this proposed structure. Typical late 19th century Victorian work in a domestic style, but again with echoes of the Gothic with the gables and the woodwork. So it's a really good for students of architectural history to see plans like this as well about what was being thought about and designed at the time. And here's another one. This is a new villa house for Mr. A.J. Cartwright. And we have an immensely detailed drawings of the house that's proposed from every angle, including the conservatory porch on one of the sides of the structure, the elevations and the almost castellated tops of the bay windows on the front of the house. And the beautiful barge boards in wood are also shown in quite a lot of detail with their finials. And we have the inside of the house with all the rooms indicated with their dimensions, the kitchen, the scullery, the larder, the breakfast room, place for storing coals, which looks like it's close to the bottom of the stairs, and the dining room and the drawing room. So if you were studying the history of your house in the Launceston area, it may well be that we have plans along those lines which would help you to learn more about the history of the property, when it was built, who built it, and who the architect was. Here's another one of proposed plan for Mr. Cartwright's villa, plan number 3, and it even shows the detail looking down, as it were, from the sky, as a bird would see it, of the layout plan of the particular roofs. You also have the chimneys shown, and also the top of one of the bay windows on this side of the property. And again, the builder, William Broad, has signed the plan to agree that this will be what is actually constructed. And then there's a little bit of more detail on this one. A house in Broad Street for Mr. W.V. Dunn. And we have the details of the doors, the door frames, the architraves, and the jambs. So they thought of everything at this time. A lot of detail, a lot of planning and a lot of forethought went into the construction of these properties. And here at a place called Beanie in St Julia in rural North Cornwall, we have a new dwelling house for Mr T Hamley. Cost, it says, about £250. Wish we could put up a house for £250 today. And a substantial dwelling, rather plainer than the ones we saw in Launceston, but signed by Wise and Wise. And again, Mr Barnard, the builder, has signed the record. Plain looking cottage, but a nice little vignette of what the inside would look like, looking section through, showing the stairs and all the doors. The history of Cornish houses is quite well documented amongst our collections. We hope that when you are able to visit us again in the summer at our new site at Redruth, you'll come and have a look at the history of your property and get to know more about its fascinating history. Thank you.